Hello and welcome. This is Christina Hills from the Website Creation Workshop, and welcome to this presentation on the simple truth about succeeding online and how to set yourself up for massive success. So my name is Christina Hills, and I'm going to talk about all the things you need to set yourself up for massive success online. All right, well, who am I? My name is Christina Hills, and I am a teacher and trainer of WordPress in the Website Creation Workshop. But before that, I was in the Hollywood special effects industry. And if you go to IMDb, you'll see my IMDb page. I was a visual effects artist when I was working in corporate. Well, it wasn't really corporate, it was in the film industry. The most famous films I worked on were Star Wars, E.T. the Extraterrestrial re-release, and Jurassic Park. And here are a couple of shots from E.T. the Extraterrestrial, and this one was from Jurassic Park 2. And my job at Industrial Ego was to put the dinosaur in the live action scene and make it look like the lights are reflecting in the smoke. And it was a very, very creative job. And here's a screenshot from Star Wars. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was really, really fun. Very, very creative. And what I do is I take that creativity and I'm using it in my business in the Website Creation Workshop. Well, since 2008, I have taught more than 4,800 coaches, consultants, speakers, authors, healers, business owners, solo entrepreneurs how to quickly and easily create a website with WordPress. And my passion and gift is teaching technology and making it easy. And so I chose an entrepreneurial lifestyle so that I could spend time with my daughter Maggie while she was growing up. But early on, I hired an outsourcing agency to build some websites. So this is before I knew WordPress, when I was the shopping cart queen. That was my first business. So I thought, okay, I'll outsource and hire someone else to build my site. And then they built something that I did not ask for. My web developer built his own porn site inside my hosting account. So I was paying this guy and he was building membership sites and he had pornography on my server. I was horrified. So I decided no more depending on these guys, right? I am not going to depend upon either the slick web developer who's like too busy and too good for you to return your calls, or you've got the geek tech guy who just doesn't get your vision. All right, so let's talk about you. So here you are, and you're smart, right? You've been in business, you've gone to college, you've either worked for yourself or worked for somebody else, and you know you're super smart. But what you would like is this big picture overview of building an online business and all the pieces that go together. Well, let's just start out with your website. Your website is the heart of your marketing. And there are lots of social media places to go online. The problem is you do not own your social media presence, right? So whether you go to Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, X, which was called Twitter, Pinterest, there's lots of other social media platforms. If you rely on only having that, you are at risk of being kicked out, right? I know either you happen to yourself or you know someone who got kicked out of Facebook for no good reason, or Instagram. There's many, many stories like that. All right, so let's talk about the online world. And in the center of the online world is your website. So what you want to do is get traffic. Traffic means people to your website. So traffic can come from Facebook, from YouTube, Instagram, all these other places online, and then people can see what you have to offer. All right, let me first talk about the social media. So we have social media, we have in-person events. Okay, I got to back this up. All right. The online world is your website plus all of these other social media places online. I want to talk about different ways now to get traffic to your site. So as I've been talking about, social media is one way. In-person events are another way. You meet people in person, you talk to them, you tell them about your business. Emails, either email marketing or your signature at the bottom of your email telling people to go to your website. So the goal is to get people to your website. Then from your website, you want to have them make a purchase, right? Buy from you. Or from your website, they might be visiting you in person, going to your center or your office. And then there's also phone. So many, many people with an online business do phone consulting, Zoom calls, discovery calls. So you want to get people to your website to get information to then go out to either call, visit, or make an online purchase. All right, so let's talk about your website. Your website is your home on the internet, and I've listed on the screen a few different web hosting companies you can use. There's many, many companies. Those aren't all of them. And your home has an address, right? Websitecreationworkshop.com is the address, is my domain name of my site. And you might buy it at GoDaddy or Namecheap. There's lots of different places to buy a domain name. And your domain name is connected, and the term is points. Your domain name points to your web hosting account. So, and the costs are, it might be, it's actually higher than what you see on the screen. So maybe $10 to $12 a year, or you might be, $10 a month. Pricing is all over the place. So that is how the two connect together. So a domain name is one purchase, web hosting is another purchase. Okay, so here's an example. Here's the Website Creation Workshop. This is my home page. And then this is my blog page where I have different blog articles on the Website Creation Workshop. Then ChristinaHills.com is a separate website. This is like what I refer to as a portal site. So it's a website that lists my other websites. And then just to remind you, I mentioned this in the beginning, but some people came on later. My spring website creation workshop program is going to be starting soon. So every semester I run the website creation workshop, and it'll be starting soon, so you'll just watch your email for that. All right, let's go back to the big picture of building yourself an online business. So now what I want to do is focus on the social media part, all these different parts of getting people to your site. So let's talk about social media. So social media is extremely popular. I mean, I don't need to say that. Everybody knows that. And this quote was from 2022. Over 4.5 billion people were using social media worldwide. and this number is projected to increase to almost 6 billion in 2027. And here are some commonly used social media platforms. This is from the Social Media Examiner. Facebook and Instagram are the top used ones. And although TikTok has totally grown since I got this screenshot, I don't happen to use TikTok, even though it's very, very popular. But, you know, social media usage is huge. Okay, so let's talk about who hangs out where. Facebook, everybody's on Facebook. Twitter, X, I still call it Twitter. I hate that they renamed it to X. I think it's a stupid name, so I'm going to keep calling it Twitter. It's used a lot for news and customer service. So sometimes I go to Twitter if I'm having a customer service issue. Instagram is a little bit as more personal than Twitter. It's visually oriented, a younger generation. LinkedIn, all businesses, corporate networkers, recruiter, B2B. LinkedIn is a little bit more serious. YouTube is the entertainment industry. There's lots of news, network news on YouTube, and people who've got video-friendly content to share. So there's people posting on YouTube and there's people watching YouTube. TikTok, again, younger crowd. My daughter does TikTok. As I mentioned, don't really use it. Short videos, tall format, singing, dancing, people expressing themselves. Pinterest used to be much more popular. I don't hear people talking about it a lot, but it is really big with the crafters, food, fashion, fitness, photography, tends to skew female. So that's kind of a generalization of who hangs out where. Okay, so when you have a website, what you can do is you can share your site to Facebook. So, for example, I've got this 10 tips to be super productive working from home, and here I shared it on Facebook. I also shared it on Instagram, and Instagram, as I said, is very visual. One of the things I don't like about Instagram is you can't share a live link, whereas let me go back to Facebook. Anyone coming to Facebook could click on that link, click on that image, and get to my website. So Instagram doesn't work that way. LinkedIn, I shared it also to LinkedIn, and someone could click from LinkedIn to get to my site. And then I shared it on Twitter, which is now called X. So that is how you get people from social media to your website. I'm not going to talk about in-person events because that's kind of obvious. And if you have a business card, or some people use digital business cards with their phones, they hold their phones up to each other and they share their contact information that way. But what I'm going to focus on now is email, right? So let's talk about email marketing. So coming back to this example of my 10 tips to be super productive working from home, right? So this is a blog article that I wrote. And what I like about writing blog posts is what it really is content marketing. So I am writing content and sending it out. So this is an example of my newsletter. So here's what my newsletter looks like. If you are here today, you are probably on my email list, and you probably got this at some point or others that I send out. So not only do I post it on the internet, but it becomes a email marketing newsletter blog post. And so from email, and I'm going to show the opt-in process from email, people can click and get back to my site. So when it comes to email marketing, there's this sort of two-way direction. They come to your website, sign up, get on your email list. From your email list, people will see things and click and go back to your website. So you really want to build an email list to create a loyal following, right? So one of the things about having an online business is to build an email list. Now, let's say you're a doctor. I have some doctors who email me. That might not be as important to them because really their business is an in-person business. But if you've got an online business, you're going to want to build an email list. So every business needs an opt-in offer. So this is a screenshot of one of my older opt-in offers, and I had it on my right sidebar, and I also had a standalone page where you could go and you could opt in to get that download. So let me review the opt-in process from this diagram, and then I will walk you through an example. So someone comes to your website, they see a free opt-in box, for whatever the goodie is, and I'll be talking about that. They enter their name and email, and then they get to a thank you page, and there's a couple different ways to do a thank you page. Once they opt in, their name and email goes into your email marketing database, and there's lots of different companies that do email marketing, and this is outside of your WordPress site. They're connected together. And then in your email marketing database system, it looks up and it starts emailing the person who opted in. And we refer to someone who's opted in as a prospect, right? And someone who's purchased is a customer. All right, so let me walk through this single opt-in process. And you may have done this for my do-it-yourself website creation checklist. I will be sending it out in a couple of weeks, so you can see that. You'll be able to see this again. Okay, so they land on a page, right? This is also referred to as a landing page. It's a single opt-in page. So they click a button, download now, opt in. It could have different names. In my instance, when you click, up pops a box asking you to enter your name and email. And nowadays they always have this, yes, you check a box, yes, send me the info by email. It seems kind of silly, but it's one of those internet laws where the person has to confirm, yes, they want to get stuff by email. So they click the download now button, and then they get to a thank you page. Right, so this is slightly different from the diagram that I showed. The thank you page says, you can see it on my screen in yellow, check your email for the PDF download. So they opt in, they're getting to a thank you page, but the thank you page is not giving the download. They have to check their email. This ensures that somebody puts in a correct email address. Now, what I do and many other of my colleagues do is on this thank you page is an invitation to come to a webinar. So I have the essential pages of a successful website webinar. People can click and opt in and get information about that webinar as well. And if you're listening to me now, you will get that invitation as well. So don't worry about that. Okay, let me keep going. Now, it told them to check their email for the PDF download. Now, in the email, you're going to send them the link where they can go and download it. Again, the reason why you do it this way is to ensure they give you a correct email address. I used to do it such that they opt in and then on the thank you page immediately was the download, and I decided to go this route to make sure people are actually giving a real email. Now, from their email, they click, and they get to a download page, right? So now the download page says, click here to download your free checklist now. And then I'm also inviting people to another live webinar. So hopefully going through this step by step is making sense in your mind about the landing page, the opt-in, the thank you page, the email, and the download page. Okay, so what are they opting in for? They're opting in for a goodie, right? What is your opt-in goodie? And it could be a webinar or it could be a PDF. This is what I'm going to talk about. You need to decide what content you're going to give and what will the format be. So what is your opt-in goodie content? So that should be something about your area of expertise. And this is going to be different for everyone. So ask your current clients or just brainstorm, for my area of expertise, and you're saying this to yourself, for my area of expertise, what might they want, right? What might be the thing that would attract someone to give you your name and email? So one of my clients, she helps people who are renters, right, get a good rental. And so she might have, the top 10 things that landlords don't want you to know, or something like that. Anyway, you want to think about it for yourself, or what are the top characteristics to look for when hiring a coach, right? So just brainstorm and think that through. And you can also go to AI, and please don't cringe when I say AI. I mean, some people love it, some people hate it. I have a love-hate with AI. You might ask AI, for my area of expertise, what might somebody be looking for that would make a compelling opt-in offer? Okay. All right, let me keep going. So you got the content, and then you have to think about the format. Like, what format are you going to give them this, right? Are you going to make a video? Do you have maybe a mind map? Do you have like an audio meditation? Do you have a checklist? Maybe you have a PDF handout, study guide, resources, tools. Maybe they're opting in for a discovery call, right? There's lots of different things people could opt in for. All right, this is my quote, which goes like this. In order to email your list, you have to email your list. Now that sounds a little weird. Let me explain. When you have an email list that you're building through your website, they're going to opt in, you're going to give them the thank you page. Then you have to train your list. Do you mail once a week? Do you mail once a day? Do you mail once a month? When I got started, I only emailed them about once a month because that's all I could kind of pull together. And then slowly I've been going up over time, and now I email somebody on my list almost every day. So almost every day we've got an email going out. Some of it is just to our students, our clients. Some of them are for people who've never taken the website creation workshop, but over time I have built that up. And you want to watch for the PDF resource that will come in your email. So I have a PDF that goes along with this presentation. You don't need it now, but it's going to have resources that you will like. Okay, so that was talking about email marketing, giving you this sort of big picture overview. Next, I want to talk about selling online. So selling your products or services online. So this is the sales process for somebody doing a single product, one-click buy sales process. I'm going to compare this to like Amazon. Amazon, the goal is to keep adding things to your shopping cart and then check out. But if you're a coach or a consultant, you might be selling a coaching package, you might be selling a course, you might be selling like group coaching or just a one-off consultation, this is what the majority of my clients do, so I'm focusing in on this. So they come to your website and they see a Buy Now button. They get to a shopping cart order form, a secure order form, and then they get to the post-purchase thank you page. So this is the purchase process. So here's an example from the graphics creation workshop. So it's an online course that I have. And you get to the enrollment page, scrolling down to the bottom, there is a buy button. Right, so one-time fee buy button. And then they click and they get to this secure order form. Right? And in my system, you can either buy in with a credit card or with PayPal. Now, if somebody chooses PayPal, it's often that you're taken off to the PayPal order form, right? And so if you have PayPal, which I recommend you get, the customer can choose to go and pay through PayPal. Now, PayPal will often ask you to sign up for an account. So that's, one of the drawbacks of selling with PayPal is then PayPal wants your customer to open up a PayPal account. Now, this day and age, almost everybody has a PayPal account, but some people still don't. Anyway, this is the buying process, which takes you then inside the course. So the thank you page, after they've gone through it, and I've got an intermediate where you pick a username and password, it takes you inside the course. All right, here's an example from womenswisdom.net, and she sells a membership site on her, she sells her memberships on her website, so you can get a business membership. And then she just has you go straight to PayPal and you can go ahead and purchase. Now, as I mentioned, everyone should have PayPal. If you are having an online business or wanting to build an online business, PayPal is the fastest way to get started. And there are two kinds of PayPal accounts, a personal and a business. Personal is just for people who are shopping online, like your aunt, and they're buying things. With the personal account, you cannot accept credit cards, but with the business account, you can accept credit cards. And it lets you do business under a business name, and you can make mass payments if you're going to make mass payments. It's free to open up a PayPal account, so it's totally, totally worth it. Then there's also Stripe. Stripe is pay as you go, so there's no monthly fees. So you only pay when you use it. So if you have a Stripe account and then somebody buys from you, then Stripe will take a percentage out. And so that's what I mean by you only pay what you use for. There's no monthly fees. Now, when it comes to PayPal, just check. There's different versions of PayPal. I can't keep up with all of it. I recommend you get the business account that's free, not the monthly one, because then you're going to have to pay every month. Okay, so here's back to this diagram. So the customer visits the website, they find the product, they fill out the shopping cart order form, the money goes into the PayPal account or your merchant account. The information goes into your shopping cart account database. The customer will get an email receipt or any follow-up. Like when you've bought online, you probably got an email receipt and then you got a different email that said, welcome to the program. And then also the post-purchase thank you page. All right, so I have again, some more examples. Just, the more you hear this and see it, the more it'll gel in your brain. So here's the enrollment page for the website creation workshop. Scrolling to the bottom, I've got different payment plans. Then they get to the order form. This is the shopping cart order form, and they can pick which payment plan they want. And then the thank you page goes into the private members area. And I have an in-between page, which I'm not showing, where you pick your username and password. So that is the process of selling online. All right, so what product do you want to create? What product or program do you want to create? So you got to, just like an opt-in goodie, for your program, you got to pick a format. So are you making a course and you've got videos and PDFs, or maybe you're selling MP3 audios, or maybe that's part of your course. You have checklists or diagrams, digital downloads. Maybe you've got a community forum. So in the Website Creation Workshop, we have a community forum. Or you're selling live webinars as part of your course. Or some people, they have a course and all they have are Zoom calls. That's another way to do it, right? Everything's on Zoom, recorded on Zoom, so you don't have to build out a whole online classroom. And then some people have in-person seminars. So just like an opt-in goodie, what need would your potential customer or client have? So what product or program could you create to solve that? Right, so like in my instance, people want to learn how to build a website themselves. So my program is the Website Creation Workshop, which I've been teaching for 18 years. All right, so now just think about it. If you don't have a program, you can sell other people's stuff. So you can start your online business and you don't have to sell your own products or services. You could sell other people's. So for example, I have a website called Christina's Resources, and I list web hosting. So I don't have a web hosting company. I have recommendations of people who I work with. Or with Amazon Associates, Amazon has an associates program, so you can link to Amazon products and you can build like an Amazon store. And you could even have an Amazon store which has your own books. Now, I just want to not caution you, but just a reality check, okay? You have to sell a ton of stuff to make a living with just selling Amazon products. But it could be kind of a nice thing for maybe books you recommend. All right, so let's focus now on what you need to sell directly online. If you're going to sell from your website, and again, you don't have to start out this way. This can be something you will add. But it's part of my overall online picture of what you're going to need. Okay, so what do you need to sell online if you're selling your own stuff? You need a website. You need a product or a program. You need a payment processor, right? So what is a payment processor? Merchant account, PayPal or Stripe, somewhere that your customer can securely give you money. You need some kind of shopping cart system to take that in. So Stripe is connected to your shopping cart account, or PayPal might be connected. You can go PayPal direct. Or if you're already taking credit cards, maybe you've been in business a long time and you have a merchant account. Besides the shopping cart system, you need an email system. Now, sometimes they're bundled together or sometimes they're separate. That part doesn't matter. In my instance, I use ThriveCart as my shopping cart system, and my email system is Aweber. A fulfillment house, that is a company that will ship out your products for you. Now, in the early days, my husband and daughter and I on a Saturday would take all the products and we would box them up. He was selling online trainings, and we'd put them in a package and take them down to the post office. Then we switched to a fulfillment house where they shipped out the physical product. So that's a lot easier. If you're not shipping physical products, you want a method to deliver your digital products, like a membership site or WordPress. So if you're doing it digitally, but maybe what you're selling is a class and it's just a bunch of Zoom calls, or you give them the phone number and the calendar so they can book the consulting call with you. So this is a general overview. So here is my diagram of what I just covered, which was, you have a website, they find the product to buy, they get to the shopping cart, then they get to a post-purchase thank you page. Maybe you're shipping out binders, maybe not. The money goes into your merchant account, right? That's step number 3. And again, PayPal or Stripe or however you're taking the money, all of their information now goes into your database, right? So now you have the client's address, phone number, email, everything you need to deliver on your program, and then an email receipt and any kind of autoresponder emails goes out to the customer. So once you have an email list and a product, you can create a simple marketing funnel. So this is a very simple marketing funnel, which is someone opts in, they get on your email list, they get emails over maybe weeks or months, however your process is, and then they see something and the timing is right, so they decide, hey, I'm gonna sign up. Like, I have people who've been on my list for months or years who are now ready to join the website creation workshop, and they're ready to jump in after they've been getting my emails for a long time. And now the customer's in, and I use the term membership site, but however you're going to communicate or relate to your customer. So that is a simple marketing funnel. And they may be getting emails, like I said, for a long time, or some people opt in and buy right away. It's going to be different for everybody. So the last one, which is phone consultations, let's just talk about it briefly. Phone webinar or Zoom consultations, Zoom meetings, or Zoom webinars. The pandemic made Zoom really popular. And so there are basic Zoom and what's on my screen might have changed since I took this screenshot, but Zoom is very popular. I really like GoToMeeting and GoToWebinar. GoToMeeting and GoToWebinar started way before Zoom. So I've been using it for years, and then Zoom came along. So I actually do use both. You should check on the pricing and just see what's going to be right for you. These days, because of the pandemic, more people are familiar with Zoom, but many people use GoToMeeting and GoToWebinar. So that is my big picture of creating an online business. Now, when you have an online business, this is the great thing about it. You make money while you're playing. And my husband and daughter and I love to go to Disneyland. And it gave me more time for my family and more time with my daughter. She's into theater. This is when she was in middle school. So I could donate my money or my time to nonprofits. And that was a lot of fun and very satisfying to be able to spend time with her at the theater. And maybe you have other creative projects. Maybe you're writing a book or whatever it is, spending time with your children or grandchildren. One of the things we used to do is, here's a screenshot from, not a screenshot, a photo, a still from Little Red Riding Hood. And we did this Little Red Riding Hood series. I don't know if you've seen that. It's on my blog. And that's my husband dressed up as the wolf and my daughter. And then here's my daughter and I as Alice in WordPress land, and she plays Alice and also the Queen. And then here is she and I from Little Red Riding Hood. All right, so watch for the PDF resources guide that will come in your email, and we'll be sending that out to everybody after the webinar, either today or tomorrow. I'm not really sure. All right, so this has been the simple truth about succeeding online, and my name is Christina Hills. And my next training event is Friday, March 27th. So mark your calendar for Friday, March 27th. I'm going to go deeper into the essential pages of a successful website. And the link is there. And this again will be not a super techie call, just what are the essential pages that you need. And then 2 weeks later, join me for an in-depth WordPress training. And you will get these via email, so just watch your email, because I will be opening up the Spring 2026 Website Creation Workshop course, and you can find that at websitecreationclass.com.